If you've been looking for someone to be very honest with you about how TVs stack up and let you know for your money if you're making the right investment in a television that's literally going to cost you thousands of dollars in some cases, then you've come to the right video because I'm going to be doing just that. So smack a like on it because we're going to get straight to the point. Okay, so the best TV right now that you can buy in the OLED bracket is going to be the LG C1. From a feature perspective, there is literally nothing comparable. You have VRR day one. You don't have to wait around for any patches. You've got 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. I mean, the thing is fully loaded, and it has one of the better motion processings I've ever seen on a TV at all. And I think that's going to be a very compelling thing when you're watching movies. The sound out of it is beautiful. It sounds great. It's rich. I mean, really, there isn't really much of a negative outside for PlayStation gamers basically having picture options grayed out, like noise reduction and motion processing. So if you're using your PlayStation 5 or you're using your, PlayStation 4 Pro or any PlayStation console, really, as a Blu-ray player, then this is a TV you might want to skip. Otherwise, for literally everyone else, it's pretty much perfect, and I think you're going to be blown back by the image quality coming out of this due to the refined colors that they've put into, the reds and all the other colors. They've all received an enhancement, and it's just such a really sharp and detailed TV, even more so than in the years prior. This is a major step forward in image quality for LG this year, and it's absolutely the best OLED TV you can buy in 2021. Now then, we have the Hisense U8G. That's going to be the next best TV you can buy in 2021. Again, similar story, features, price, image quality. You're really not finding anything comparable in that price point. And at, again, 65 inches, you're getting a very, very comparable TV to, again, some of the absolutely most flagship TVs from Samsung and stuff like that. And you're getting a significantly better picture quality with far more control over the calibration process, leading to a more better or more pleasing image experience at the end of the day. And that's really what it boils down to. We're now, to be very clear, how I'm going about judging the best is image quality and feature set, because at the end of the day we are watching these TVs, and that's the only measuring stick in my opinion that really matters, the pure picture quality coming out of it as a whole. So that's what my measurement system is based off of. Others use bribes or VIP treatment to measure the worth of a television. I don't do that. So that's also something to factor in, because you will hear on other review sites and from people on Amazon and from other places different things. And I can't control what everybody else says, and I don't want to. But I can control the information you hear here, and so I'm just going to put it out there like it is. So that's really how it is. Now, I want to kind of say a special note here, because I know a lot of people kind of sleep on Hisense saying, oh, it's a Chinese brand. I just want to put out there, man, drop any bias you have going into a TV purchase, because the market is not what it used to be. And I'm not just talking about the TV market. Now, I'm going to go a little off track here. It might sound a little crazy, but for my really experienced adults out here, you guys know exactly what the hell I'm talking about when I hit home like this, because it's true. Okay, so we have a problem right now. Okay, and the housing market, the apartment markets, every market is basically using something called comparables to create pricing and artificially bump up the prices of all of our goods. And that basically in English is like, let's say I'm selling a TV for $1,000 and I'm giving you everything that you were getting before on the Hisense U8G, and now I want to raise the price because I see that Samsung rose the price to like $1,600, $1,700. Well, now I want to charge $1,700 for my TV. And that's kind of how the whole market is going. They see a price that somebody has arbitrarily come in and bumped up, and there's no kind of regulation stepping in and telling them they can't do it. And so prices are getting sky high. It doesn't mean that they're worth it. And so people that opt in to say this you get what you pay for thing really need to stop, because prices are artificially being pumped up based off of greed alone, and there is no other way to say that. So I know some people can hear that, a Hisense is number 2 on this list and go, whoa, that can't be. That is absolutely the case. And I mean, anybody that wants to argue that, you can go watch it compete against an OLED and you'd see very clearly it held its own extremely well. And you're getting that for a fraction of the price. That alone is a massive benefit to many people. So, not to get too much off track, but that's something to keep in mind too. I know some people being stressed out by the way everything's always being, arbitrarily forced into a higher price point can be very done with this very quickly. I mean, you've got rent you've got to pay for, in many cases can't afford because it's just way too high, and you're trying to find something that won't break the bank and be able to give you the money you need to spend on bills and still have a little extra, to fuck with at the end of the day, if I'm being very frank with you, right? Because we're not trying to spend all our money on these TVs and whatnot. So I'm trying to really make this list for you guys out there that really need the help, not for the people that have their minds made up, if I'm being very clear. Like, if you're here on this video right now watching and you already know what you want and you're just looking for someone to reaffirm that you're making a good choice and, give you an attaboy, please leave, because I'm not here to do that for you. I'm here to really provide a service to those who need it. And that's something I do want to kind of clarify for those who maybe don't understand that about Quantum TV. So let's move on talking about the next TV on this list, the Hyacinth U6G. I think regardless of price point, this year, this is one of the most impressive TVs I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen a TV this strong at a budget price point of only $529. And this will really come in at what I was just talking about. Like, you don't want to break the bank. Rent's getting higher and higher. They keep raising rent. They keep raising mortgage payments. They keep doing a lot of stuff for a lot of people. Hell, some people are getting hit with balloon payments after they've almost paid off their house. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the kind of TV that a lot of people will end up be looking at because it's affordable, like super affordable for the money. So I think, honestly, if you're somebody looking for an affordable TV, this is absolutely going to be your guy, because you're not finding anything that's going to hit as strongly as this TV will hit. Now, to be clear, we're not just talking about metrics like, brightness or any of that other stuff. I think overall, from the perspective of it being very easy to dial in, you not having a whole lot of work to do to get it where you want it, it really does help give you the picture that you're looking for. Now, for all of these TVs that I'm talking about here, I do have settings up. I really suggest you guys spend the $5, join, become a member, and get those awesome settings. That way you're able to unlock the absolute full potential of these TVs. And I'm saying this as somebody that's trying to help you out, not somebody that's trying to be some greedy skeezer, because at the end of the day, I work in an industry where everybody likes to charge thousands of dollars for a calibration that's just going to wash out your picture and make everything look flat. If you want that, great. But for $5, I can give you a picture that's basically color graded and it looks really beautiful, and you're going to really enjoy the results like many members have. And I say that again as a service to do for people that maybe can't afford to spend all that money on a professional calibrator to come out and wreck their picture quality, just for some so-called reference accurate look that nobody really likes anymore anyway. That being the case, I'll say the Hyacinth U6G again is one of the better TVs you can buy. Then we have the Sony A90J. Now, I'll be very honest with you, I'm not a fan of this TV, and I personally wouldn't purchase it at all, but it does have a place on this list because, honestly speaking, when you look at all the TVs that I've reviewed this year, this would come in at number 4. Now, the reason it's not higher on the list and it doesn't rank above other things is because, again, its price is astronomical for what they're offering. Maybe if sale prices lower it down like $1,600, it might be more appealing. But right now, it's not worth that much money. A TV does not cost that much money. And this is not a major step up over their last year's model at all. Like, it's basically the same thing, more or less. They've tried to act like their processor this year was something great with the cognitive feature. And that's really not the case, because at the end of the day, you're getting the same exact TV experience, more or less. And you're getting maybe a couple of features that are newer here and there. But it's really, frankly, identical. And I think a lot of people buying this TV would probably be better off getting the A8H if you can still find it. Now, the picture quality is good in the aspect of just picture quality. Motion is terrible, and that's why this TV sits lower on the list, because again, motion is jarring without motion processing, and even with motion processing, you're going to see a lot of motion artifacts, or basically your picture looking like it's breaking apart. Sony has been doing exceptionally bad in the terms of motion these days, and I just honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I don't recommend it. My recommendation is the C1. It is better in every conceivable way that matters. And I think if all you care about is a picture when it's moving, that's basically the C1 all day, every day. But if you just want to watch stills on your TV all the time, then the A80J is going to give you the best picture. It's going to be absolutely beautiful, and it's going to be fantastic. But I think most people are watching actual moving images, and you're going to need competent motion for that. And Sony this year is not capable of producing that, at least from everything I've seen so far. So then that brings us to Samsung with the QN90A. It's basically more of the same story. I really don't recommend this TV. I think it's a trash TV because the black levels, even though they talk about the world's first quantum matrix technology, are very subpar. You're still going to run into the same blooming you're going to find on a regular full array. And I've tested this out using actual full array TVs, and the experience is exactly the same. And the full arrays actually surpass this new technology. It's really just saying something is new, but giving you some really crap for the sake of giving you crap. Now, some people have said that there are updates for all of the problems that I've put out. And again, I'll just say it like this. I go back into Best Buys and all these other places, and I test again to see if I notice the same thing. And of course I do. I feel like a lot of people, when they hear like their options are kind of limited, they start feeling trapped, confined, and stuck, like they have nowhere else to go. And they work so hard, they make so much money, and they're finally able to do something nice for themselves. And they'll be damned if there's one loser on the internet tells them it's not a good choice. If you're, again, that person that won't listen to reason, I cannot help you. I literally do this as a service for everyone, and if you want the help, again, I'll be your best friend and help you out the best I can using my true experience and expertise to get you where you need to be. But at the end of the day, that is not the Samsung QN90A, and that's honestly as simple as anybody needs to hear it. I did full reviews on all of these TVs. You can watch them in the playlist section and look for the particular review, and you'll find all the information in depth there. The same can be said for the next TV on the list, the Samsung QN85A. It's an IPS panel, black levels are weak. I mean, ironically though, in some cases they were stronger than the QN90A. That's how poorly they did with the QN90A. Motion on neither one of those TVs were great. And, you know, I wasn't impressed by the amount of, or rather the limited amount of HDMI ports found on the Sony A90J, the QN90As from Samsung. The two HDMI ports, not a thing. The one HDMI 2.1 port on Samsung, even worse. So either way you look at it, you're not getting some fantastic deal for the money. It's really, quite frankly, a waste of money in 2021 because you're not getting anything competent. And the motion is pretty jarring. It's not good. It's jittery. It's not smooth. It's not nice. It's not as bad as Sony, but it's also not good either. And with the blooming, like that made it unacceptable for the prices that they're asking for both of those TVs. So I would skip those. Next up, we have the Samsung Q60T. The only way to classify this TV is total trash. I don't care if you're dirt poor and this is the only thing you can afford. You do better. And I say that as somebody who has been dirt poor. I say that as somebody who understands truly what it is like to be on your last can of baked fucking beans, okay? You do not buy this TV because this is a spit in your face for your income level. Don't let them do this to you. The reality is the Samsung Q60T is one of those TVs they make to make you feel like this is the best you can do. The reality is you need to go up to the hyacinth U8G, buy that or something in that ballpark, like even if you can find it, a TCLR 635, and get that for the money. Because what Samsung is doing is the same as what LG and Sony are doing. They want you to buy their most flagship models, and they're going to do that by making the entry-level models so inconceivably bad that you'll be like, wow, I mean, I'm really slumming it here. And then you'll start throwing money at them. It's psychological, it's manipulation, it's gaslighting, and don't let them do it to you. The Samsung Q60T under no circumstance should be purchased because I feel like, given everything that they've done picture-wise, is not enough. And we buy these TVs for picture. This had one of the worst picture qualities I've seen all year. Then we move on to the Sony A90J. Now, people are going to wonder, why am I looking at the Sony A90J as a TV that's this far down on the totem pole? I can't tell you how bad the motion was on this TV. Its price point was so greedy and so gouged that, honestly speaking, you were talking about $3,000 for a 55-inch alone. That level of greed is the most disgusting I've seen yet, and we had the worst motion processing out of all of Sony's TVs in their entire lineup. And that's really something that a lot of people are damage controlling now. Of course, you're going to see people who have never had OLED, who are finally stepping up in an OLED, say, wow, this is miraculous. I finally get those inky deep blacks I wanted. Wow, this is miraculous. I finally get to see a bright OLED. But they're not taking into consideration the price and that this performance level has existed on the market before, because they don't do what I do. I review TVs that I have for so many years, guys, and the LG C8 from 2018 was better than this. It really was. And I think when you look at the fact that you only have two HDMI ports, HDMI 2.1 ports to be specific, and you only have a limited amount of gaming features, and the fact that you're still waiting for variable refresh rate at this point from Sony, it's a dumb thing to do. And if you're watching this for movies, it's still dumb to do because the motion is incredibly bad. Again, Sony's OLEDs this year are what you watch when you're maybe running an art gallery, running slideshows, because the moment you start watching moving images, motion is bad. Now, there are some people that say that they can't see it, but I feel like those are people that really have maybe been watching the worst TVs possible with the worst motion ever. And if that's your case, then by all means, overpay and get something that's inferior. But a TV expert at Quantum TV right now is telling you, after years of experience, this is a bad TV and really bad compared to what Sony has been doing in prior years. You are wasting your money, and if you do it, you're going to see it when they start trying again so very clearly, and then you're going to be the person that said, I should have listened to you, maybe coming back years later. But by then, the deed's already done. So seriously, I cannot tell you guys enough to stay away from this model. Now, we talk about the Sony X90J. Sony X90J is another do not buy TV. It's hazy. It's one of those TVs that, honestly speaking, no matter how you set local dimming, just doesn't get that extra pop back. Colors were washed. They were very dated looking. This looked like a really old TV just out of the gate, and there wasn't really a whole lot I could do to get it to the next level, and there was no amount of cognitive processor and depth of field that they claimed this year on any of these XR TVs that was able to change the game. And honestly, the X90J is the TV that tries to force you the most into stepping up into the OLED line just to find all that terrible motion. It's a sad game that Sony is playing this year. And of course, that leads me to the next TV, the Sony X80J, which was IPS and totally washed out and was not a TV worth anyone's money at all. And again, I can't stress, even if you are dirt poor, right, and you've got no money to spend on this, do not waste your energy and effort giving it to people who are literally shitting on you because you don't have the money that they think you should be paying. It's the apartment complex, if that makes sense. So it's like, hey, how about this one bedroom apartment, studio apartment? That'll be $1,700. That'll be $1,500. Don't pay them that shit. They're shitting on you. They're sleep in your car, for Christ's sake. It is better to do that and save everything you own until you can afford a house than to let them shit on you like this. That's how I work, right? I would rather be poor. I would rather live in conditions that maybe might not be ideal. Now, some people have kids. Figure it out, man. Bounce around relatives if you've got to. I know many people that have kids usually rely on relatives when they go to work anyway. Do that as long as you can. Don't let people crap on you because of your price range, because of your income bracket, because of where you are in life. That's the big message here. And with ranking these TVs, you're going to find a lot of these TVs that you're going to find are not going to be what they need to be. Now, again, people can say I have high standards, but I think it's not high standards. I think these are just basic common standards that people are over time being conditioned to let go because they're being beat down with high prices. They're being beat down with year after year continual lazy efforts. They're being beat down with reviewers that are paid off telling them everything is wonderful every time that they turn on the TV and YouTube and all that other stuff. And honestly speaking, shoot me models, dude. I swear to God, if you shoot me 3 models that you've been looking at, don't even say shit else. Just shoot me 3 models and say, Quantum, I'm looking at blase, blase, blase. Which one do I pick? I will help you find the right one. And if it's to the scenario where neither one of those models you were looking at are good, I'll tell you why they're not good, and I'll help you. Like, I will help you find the complete TV that you are looking for a good price, or the best price I can possibly help you find it for. So again, don't feel like I'm just shooting all your options down and I'm leaving you with nothing, telling you, haha, everything's shit, goodbye. It's not how it works, all right? I know every region's different, so I'm not giving specific alternatives. Come back at me with some options you've been looking at, and I will help you. I am not like every other YouTuber. I do not ignore people. I answer virtually every single comment I can. So again, if you need somebody to help you, I am here for you. Please hear my plea to help you out, because I know how stressful this is, especially in these times where everything is just screwed up with pricing, with, the pandemic, as they call it. Believe me, there's so much bullshit happening in the world right now. I mean, we're in summer 2021 right now, and you have people still wearing double masks in some cities I drive around to. I'm not even joking. And it's out of control at this point. Everybody's using the pandemic as an excuse not to try. Oh, we don't have to run our business properly because some things happened and, well, here we are. And it's like, that's not an excuse to give poor customer service. It's not an excuse to deliver half-ass goods. And honestly, what we're seeing in 2021 is kind of a reflection of all of that kind of accumulated into one thing. So hopefully this ranking video helped you guys out, provided perspective as to how the top TVs kind of pertain to you and how they stack up against the market. I'm telling you right now, your three best, really. If you are somebody looking for OLED, buy a C1 without question. If you're somebody looking for a QLED, buy the U8G without question. If you're somebody looking for a budget TV, buy the U6G, no question. Those are the top three TVs right now, and I haven't seen anybody able to actually rebuttal that outside of coming back with some overly passionate retort like, oh, my Sony is the best because I love Sony, or because Sony's just the best. Nobody has ever actually been able to specify why you are better off buying a TV with 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, no VRR, forced terms of service, shitty motion, and the list goes on. They haven't been able to say anything outside of it's bright and the picture is nice. But they don't tell you about what the picture looks like when it moves, you know what I mean? So there's so many moving parts to this, and I can't cover every single thing, and I do feel badly about that. And this is a 20-minute video, right? This is a long-ass video. But I am really trying to help you guys here, so I hope by giving this long-ass podcast, I'm able to help some of you guys out. So please, if you have questions or you need help, please ask, because I will do everything in my power to help you guys out. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. Ask any question you have down below, and I will do my damnedest to help you. Until the next video, I'll see you guys later.